Recap of my New York session today, Monday, free cash Monday, as it was, with two trades actually, DJ30 short and silver short. And I will explain the DJ30 low hanging fruit setup in detail because it was very nice and clean. So let's look at the heat map first. Overall, it did look like we get an DXY uptrend continuation. So this was already an overall trend for the market. So as I wrote here, might give bearish impulse for the whole market, but it's overextended. So it was not completely clear. And especially the metals were very strong, obviously out of balance, breakout on all time frames, but very far up high. So there you always have to look especially at the 8H or the previous day high, what it does and what timing does. If you really get after these three sessions of rise setups, if you get a continuation or if it engulfs third hour and reverses what we obviously got. Oil did a fake out low out of an out of balance situation in London already. So it could have given a fake out low continuation up, but it was in the middle of the range. I was watching it a bit, but it was really looking more like it would range on. Then the US indices, S&P and DJ30, very far up, still breakout on month and week. S&P with an inside day, DJ30 already with a fake out high, which I liked. NASDAQ was fake out high on week and month, but pretty close to the level. Inside day, but still inside. So this was, for me, unclear, and I didn't really watch it. What I then really watched was DJ30 because the fake out high was very nice for me and it broke down already in London. So this gave a very nice continuation trade, which I will explain in a minute. So let's look at the charts. Maybe oil for a moment was pretty nice overall. I mean, we know it's all very bearish. Came down into strong support end of last week. There's a monthly naked point of control down here, and also previous month low, I think. No, closing price, previous month's closing price. And today it just blew to the top out of this out of balance situation. So as you see here, I was observing it a bit also with this first hour high and low to take a breakdown. It would have worked, but it was all very narrow, and I in the end didn't like it much. NASDAQ obviously made nice moves, but it was an inside day. And as you see, it actually did an inside day setup. That was the only thing that I was seeing because all the other things were pretty conflicting. So if you look at this in detail, it spiked previous day high into third hour. So this would have been a very nice setup, either with the 15-minute close here back inside of the previous day high, or then losing the 8-hour even and then trading it to the other side of the range. It didn't complete it yet, but overall, this is a classic inside day situation. What I was watching a bit more, as I said, was DJ30 and silver. Silver I liked because it already broke down or pulled back pretty strongly with a daily or especially an 8-hour fake out high here. Let's go to my silver chart directly. So you see here, it was a very nice deadline setup. So we had a breakout on the day and week. And then from there, we discussed the setup for just a couple of days ago. First session, Asia high, London high, New York high. So 3 sessions of rise, peak formation high, engulfment, lock in even here with New York open one more time, and then just trading further down with lower highs and lows. And then this was pretty deep into third hour, so I was waiting a bit. And then, as you see, classic pattern, 3 5-minute bars to the top into 15-minute rotation engulfment. I took here, that was also the 15-minute bearish rollover. This was my entry. And then my trades, classic 1 2 3 5-minute bars. It's insane how it worked again into third hour rotation, and it blew off completely into 8-hour low here. And then I took profit here. It was already massive with like 260 pips and an R 4.5. I didn't risk any more, but as you see, it would have gone even almost double that into here 450 pip, or if you would have held to the single prints, down more than 500 pips. So insane move. Do not counter trend on Mondays, as we know. Look what they are trapping. Perfect 3 sessions of rise setup. Then let's look at US 30. There we had the last week trading in breakout on the weekly breakout, trading into the high, as you see here, like 3 days trading into the high. And today it lost the previous week value area high, did a daily fake out high here on the top. That was made me interested in this pair. And then if you look to the right, we had in London already a breakdown. The green lines here is London first hour high and low, so that's London session. And London, or in gap time, we got the breakdown. Was trading down into New York session, then first hour trading up again. Huge wick into previous week closing price with New York Open. I was watching that a bit, but of course I didn't take a trade. I'm waiting for third hour. Then it was trading down here, third hour at the low. This is not an entry, of course. That's very risky to take a breakout with the low at the low. Then it traded back up again and made a 5-minute fake out high, which is very nice. And then as it lost this level, that was 15-minute rotation roundabout into third hour, 30-minute rotation into third hour, I put in my first position. Then, as you see, 1 2 3 5-minute bars. It was pretty deep, but I thought Monday runner. I tried today. I held on to it, and with the next 5 minutes fake out high, I scaled in one more position. Fortunately, my silver trade was over. Otherwise, I would have ran out of capital. So I was again fully invested here. And then it completely collapsed here in another 5 minutes to previous day low. As you see here, this was a massive trade with like 100 pips only, but only 100 pips and also R5 roundabout. Low-hanging fruit, scaled in, so very happy with this trade. So let's look at the presentation again, and let's look at the educational material, low-hanging fruit. So again, here you know this chart, equity open, did a stop hunt to the high for Dow Jones, then 15 minutes here, we got the trap. It was trapping to the low. So sometimes, of course, it just blows off, but this was trading down into the low, but then into third hour, it was coming up again. So there was not an entry yet. And then here, as you see, if you break down, you get long squeeze, low hanging fruit. So we are more or less down here below the session before, low hanging fruit breakdown, trading downwards from these levels. So looking at my signals and setups map, as you know, this is for me one of the most critical charts I produced on Stacey Burke Trading once I understood that signals and setups are completely different. And you have some signals on the day, but for the day, but on the day you look at especially how the day sets up. And there's a couple of variations of that, and one of the variations is low-hanging fruit, especially on the session level. And as you see here, 3 days of longs, for example, could be a signal, but in the end for Dow Jones we didn't have a real signal here. So if once you don't have a signal, you just look at the setups, and this was a low-hanging fruit setup, which can happen obviously with all the signals. How does this work? Here you see the logic of the low-hanging fruit setup. So you want to have a peak formation high. This we got in Asia, locked in for the day. Then you have the next session breaking down. This was London. There could be a level. In this case, there wasn't one. Or actually, that was closing price. Yes, we had weekly closing price, making a lower low, then trading back up into this level. We got this huge stop hunt to the high. We get another peak formation high here and a breakdown. And as you see here, you want to have a break in structure or a pullback, not necessarily, but timing wise, timing levels, behavior of price, you look at that. But in this case, we got another breakdown here then, and we were trading to previous day low. So this is the overall logic of the low-hanging fruit setup. You want to have the session before broken down, then you come up with like typically 3 pushes, or what pattern you want to see. There's different ones, obviously. Retesting this level and the low, and then collapsing completely. And very often you get a one full range expansion of this high and low here to the bottom. So that's it. Let's look back to the chart one more time. Here you see it again. Here is London. Here is Asia. So we had a peak formation high. It didn't take the high, so the fake out was already on Friday. But then London here broke down, and then New York session pushing up. No clear 3 pushes. You know, I don't look at pushes really. But it was like a pump and dump, low-hanging fruit continuation, stop hunt high, and then losing the level. And I just took the continuation down here. It even collapsed much further, but for me that was good enough. So I hope that's helpful. One more setup for your own playbook, if you like. Hope you had also a nice trading day and catched one of these massive moves today. Free cash Monday, as Stacey would say. Have a nice evening. Thanks for listening.